everybody, it's Topwater Johnny, and in this video, I'll be doing a lure review of some of my newest topwater lures from Japan, from Australia, and from America. So let's check it out. Whoa, there we go. Yeah! Woo, holy cow, folks. Topwater Johnny here, man. This is what we came here for. Look at that. Get back here. Look at that right there. That's the kind of beast that we came here for. Hey everybody, it's Topwater Johnny. Look at that beast right there, baby. I think I won the tournament with that one right there. I am the one with this one. Hey everybody, it's Topwater Johnny here. Want to welcome you to this lure review here. Well, it's hot here in Florida, and the bite's been a little slow. Been going out in the mornings and late in the evenings trying to get something to go. And what I decided to do, because I don't have enough footage that I really want to show right now, but what I wanted to do was show you some of the lures that I have now acquired and that I'm fishing with right now. So I'm really excited about these lures, and I'm really hopeful that I'll be able to bring you some footage in the future on each and every one of these lures. So what I want to do here is just show them to you so that you can check them out, and then we'll go from there. So the first one that I'm going to show you is a Megabass lure right here. This is a Megabass lure. This is an I-Wing, what they call an I-Wing Fry right here. We're going to look at that one. And then the next one that we've got here is from ZactCraft Zaguna, and this little piece right here, this little bitty one right here, we're going to do a review of that. So what I'm going to do is give you a closer look right now, and then we'll come back and I'll give you my thoughts. All right, everybody, here we are. Here is our two lures here. The first one over here is the I-Wing Fry. This is 3/8 ounce. It is 2.5 inches long in length, and it definitely is a very unique lure here because it comes in that winged crawling class right here, as you can see right here. And it's got really good, as you can see, really good design here, really good detail here, because this is made by Megabass. So it's definitely going to have all of the high-end qualities that their products definitely produce, with the eyes looking down as well. And this is basically designed to be a fleeing fish. The next one over here is the ZactCraft Zaguna, and it is definitely a smalling little bait right here. This one right here, give you those quick measurements here. It is 1.4 inches long. It is 3/8 ounce, and definitely, once again, is a Japanese lure. It has the rattles in it as well, that jitterbug front in it as well. So I just wanted to give us a closer look at that, and I'll continue with my thoughts. All right, we are with our next look at those lures right there. So as you got a chance to see, these lures are definitely unique lures here. I'll start with the first one here, which is with the I-Fry right here. And this one, as you can see, has those plastic crawlers right there. It definitely has a rattle in it, high frequency, so it's definitely going to try to call up those fish. As you can see, it's got that 3D eye looking down right there as well. And I'm really a fan of these type of crawlers right here. Now, just want to share with you that I got this from jpanglers.com. So that was the website where I actually bought this one here. The actual, and I'm just going to have to read it off here, the price point on this is actually $19.55, but since I bought it from a Chinese bait shop, it was like 21 yens, which is basically when I did the transfer. $19.55 is the actual cost plus shipping. So shipping was kind of like near $10 to $15 for it as well. But this is a beautiful, beautiful lure right here that I know it's going to get bit, because you've seen me in other videos getting bit with a similar type of crawler. And I'm just a fan of this model right here. I think they're so unique and they're so cool to look at, and it's just special. So let me make sure I get all my notes here on it. Okay, so that's really what I wanted to talk about here. Wanted to give everybody a closer look because they may never have seen this one before. Also, with this one right here, if you go to Tackle Warehouse and you look up the I-Wing 135, that's the bigger version of this. That's like $55 for that one right there, but it's a bigger Megabass lure. And I've been thinking about buying it, but I hesitated because it's such a big lure for where I'm fishing. So I wanted to go with the smaller one here, try this one out, see how I feel with this one, and maybe I'll step up. But right now, I got this one. I'm looking forward to fishing with it. The next one is, and I've got it over here again, it is the ZactCraft Zaguna, Z-A-G-U-N-A, Zaguna. And as you can already tell, this is a micro topwater lure right here. This one right here, total jitterbug right here. But it actually has, if you can see that, and try to get that a little closer, it actually has a cicada design on the back of it. Makes a lot of noise and lots of rattle. The reason that I bought this one right here is because I'm noticing those bass up shallow and really nipping at those flies, nipping at those small minnows and chasing them. And I just said, man, this is something that I really think they will strike and hit. Plus, I can throw this in the cover, in the little pockets of cover, and just let it sit there and pulsate almost as I'm tapping my line right there. And I think that will really give a lot of action. I'm going to go with the hook because the hook seems to be a pretty good hook. If it doesn't seem to work out with this hook, I'll probably switch it out, put a feather hook on the back, and keep going with it. This one right here, just so you guys know, with the I-Wing, it looks like fleeing fish in the middle of the water. I've already casted it. Looks like fleeing fish. So it has a lot of action on top. This right here is something that you would throw in open water and you would just throw it out there and you would kind of reel it in. You could reel it in slow, fast. But I like to twitch mine so it looks like a fleeing fish out there. So I twitch, 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 and then I pause, twitch, twitch, twitch. Normally also, I'll put a feathered tail on the back to give it a little bit more action. But I'm going to leave it as it is for the moment just to see what kind of response I can get. And as always, you know, it's got the clear bottom on the bottom here where that's what the fish are seeing. So really impressed with these two lures right here. Okay, the next thing we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and take a closer look at my Australian lures. Also, before we get started with that, I want to make sure I say this real quick here because a lot of people will ask me this question. This lure was actually bought at, let me see here. This lure was bought at the Hookup Tackle. The Hookup Tackles were actually bought this one at, and it's out of Arizona. And the price point on this little lure right here is $18.99 plus a little bit of shipping that incurs. They've actually got a bigger version of this one as well. This one is a smaller one, as you know, 1.4, but there's definitely a little bit bigger version of this, a 2.4, that you can acquire as well if you're interested. And so I just wanted to kind of tell everybody where I'm getting these from. I'm not sponsored by them. I just love them. And so that's why I'm telling you all this information. So just wanted to let everybody know what was going on there as well. All right. So what we're going to do now is move on to our Australian lures so that you can check those out. And the lures that we're going to be looking at, this one, first one here, this big boy right here, is out of Australia. And it's called the Atomic Slap Cod Lure right here. Atomic Slap Cod Lure. That's the first one we're going to look at. And then the second one from Australia, because it's not sold here, it is the Powerbait Frog Lure Power Pop right here. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a closer look at these lures, and then I'll come back and give you my thoughts. All right. All right, next one here is our Australian lures. And the first one over here that you're looking at right here is the Atomic Slappa Cod Lure. And this one is 3.5 inches in length. It's about an ounce in size right here. And it's definitely a much bigger lure here, as you can see from the footage here. And makes a lot of noise, lots of rattling, lots of action here. But it's a crawler as well. Got great design here. I chose kind of like the kind of the cod type of design here, Murray cod type of design here for it. And it definitely is very impressive here. The next one that I have over here, and this is one that's exclusive to Powerbait, but it's called the Powerbait Frog Lure Power Pop. And this one right here is actually a soft topwater lure right here. It is actually 3 inches in length, and it's definitely less than an ounce because it's really hard foam right here. And one of the things about it's got the big tail in the back here. It's got a singular hook, slit tail in the center of it to allow the hook to sink in there, and so that when the bass actually bites down on it, you know, they're going to get that hook right there. That right there. They're actually going to get that hook right there. So that definitely gives it a lot of potential here when you're going through the slop. So I wanted to show everybody both of these actual lures right here. So these are my 2 from Australia. All right. Okay, we're back. And so you had a chance to take a closer look at those lures right there. And we're going to go ahead and deep dive in here for a moment on the Atomic Slappa cod lure right here. Now this is definitely, as you saw already, is a much bigger crawling lure. As you can see, I added a feather tail to the back. Got that cup mouth in the front. So this makes a lot of noise, moves a lot of water. And let me make sure I tell you guys here, fishingtackleshop.com is where I got this. So it'll be fishingtackleshop.com.au for Australia. And that's where I got this one from right here. Just love those crawlers. And this is kind of a smaller one. It's a little bit bigger than the other one that I showed you here, the I-Wing. But it has great crawling action, great noise on top of the water. Normally, they'll fish for Murray cod with these, but I can see big bass hitting these at the right time of the year, especially when they're near this time for spawning, near bedding. They'll come after this because this will make a lot of noise and a lot of disturbance. And they'll want to get this away, and it reminds them, as you can see, of a bluegill or of a little baby bass trying to steal their current fries. So that's why I really like this lure here. Also, a couple other things about it. This lure costs $20.73 in American dollars. So in Australian, you have to transfer it over, but it ends up being about $20.73 plus shipping. Shipping's around $10 to $12 as well. But I really do like this lure. I think this lure has a lot of potential for catching some big bass. And as time progresses, I know I'm going to be in a situation where I can use this and really show you guys how productive it can be. So that's that one right there. And then this one right here. This right here is the Powerbait frog here. Powerbait frog, popping frog. This frog, actually Powerbait is sold here in America, but this frog isn't found in America. So you can only get this in Australia for some weird reason. Never seen it anywhere else. And so it's kind of exclusive for there for some reason. But once again, you know, I was buying the crawler, so I thought, well, I'll just get this one as well. What's unique about it is the foam is really soft, but it does float. The bass bites down, and as you can see, the hook gets exposed right here. It has a spot right in there where it can cup in there and sit tight. And then you've got a split ring in the bottom to split right here where it can hide as well. And what's also in here, you hear that? They actually put a rattle. And I don't know if you can see that, but they put a rattle inside of this particular lure. So it actually makes a rattling and clanking noise as it goes across the water or across the lily pad. So this right here was another one that I felt like I really wanted to get and add to my collection here, because I thought it would be another effective lure for fishing top water in heavy cover or with heavy lily pads right here. Now, once again, bigger bass is going to be biting this right here. It's going to take a more aggressive bass to hit it because it's a much more bigger lure. As you can see, they've trimmed the tails down a little bit here, but it's definitely going to take a bigger bass, a more aggressive bass that sees this and wants to hit it. But it's got a good rattle in there, and I have high hopes for this one as well. Make sure that I haven't leave anything out. I got my notes here, everybody. I don't want to leave anything out here for you guys. Oh, also, They actually put some kind of scent in here as well. And the price on this, you get two for $6.20. So the price on this is $6.20, and they'll give you two of these in a packet. The actual hook comes with it as well. So they include the hook that goes with this product as well. So just wanted to share that with you. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on here to our American lures. The lures that I recently bought from shops here that are made and homegrown here in America. So we'll go into those next. All right. Okay, and here are my two lures from the U.S. First one over here is the actual 13 Fishing Trash Pander. Beautiful, beautiful frog right here. It's 2 7/8 inches. It is 9/16 ounces. It's got a 14, I mean not 14, but a 4/0 hook on there for it. It's got a blowhole in the very top of it. It's got these unique kind of tail in the back here. So it's kind of got not just a traditional frog tail, but a little bit more what I would call a little fancy stencil in the back of the tail to give it a little bit more flash and action. It has, this is the bluegill pattern, so it has a great look there. White belly on the bottom right here, keeled like right here. So it really does have a lot of buoyancy in the water and definitely does give off a lot of action right here. And then this one right here is truly a classic here. This one right here is the Bill Plummer frog called the Super Frog. And this was one that was recommended by Tim Legger. And I wanted to give him a shout out because he said it in my video that I should check it out. So I'm checking it out. And I got it off of eBay. It's an older lure. It's probably like an inch long. Got a weed guard here. A little bit older, but got a little weed guard here. And it's been around for a really long time. But it's a classic, and I definitely plan to fish with it and see what it does. So what I wanted to do was give you guys a closer look at these topwater lures right here. So we'll go back, and I'll give you my thoughts on each and every one of them. All right. Okay, there you go. You got to look at the two lures that I got, and I just call them American made because that's what they are. And the first one that we're going to look at is the 13 Fishing Trash Pander right here. I'm here to tell you, this right here, when I saw this come in the mail, this is a beautiful frog right here. Very excited to throw this frog. I got this frog from Tackle Warehouse. The price on this one was $12.99. And I'm here to tell you, this is some state-of-the-art frogging right here. Notice the tail in the back here. It's narrowed in the back here. So it is well balanced. Instead of just having those rubber, it's actually got a little bit more stencil in here, giving it a lot more action right here. Also, I've never seen this before. If you look real close there, there's a blowhole in the top. You know, normally when you squeeze a frog, it comes out at the bottom here. They put it in the top. These are super sharp number 4 hooks that are already leaning up forward. And it actually narrows out in the front here. And I chose the bluegill pattern right here. This one right here is a beautiful frog. And if I were to design a frog myself, I think it would look a lot like this right here. If I was going to say, if they asked me to design a traditional frog that everybody knows and recognizes, I'd be more or less designing something like this right here. It's all sealed all the way through and through. So the sealing on it is great as well. It doesn't leak. I've already been fishing with it. It doesn't leak or anything like that. This right here is an impressive top water frog right here. And I know for sure this one will definitely get bit right here. So I just definitely am excited about this. Like I said, I got it at Tackle Warehouse. And one other thing about it, everything is molded together on this one right here. So that allows for it to always stay sealed and never compromise with leaks or cracks. So it's definitely a good lure here. So wanted to talk to you about that one. And then last but not least, to one of my subscribers out there that I appreciate, Tim Legger. Tim Legger had a while back sent me a note and said, "Hey Johnny, have you ever seen this Super Frog?" And I always tell everybody, "Hey, give me recommendations of what you like, what you're thinking about, what you think it reminds you of." And so he did. And so I went to eBay, and I probably spent I think eight or $9 and got two of these super frogs here. So I got this one right here that you can see in green, and then I got one also here. I'll pull that one out here in black as well. So this person sent these to me right here. I'm sure they came out of their own personal collection. But when I saw it, I started to laugh because I said, wow, that makes a lot of sense from one of the lures I currently have that's from another lure maker. But as you can see, it's got the rubber legs in the back, hook in the back right there, and it's got a weed guard that follows it right here. So that means you can definitely rake it across the top of cover as well. It's a hard rubber here. This is a hard rubber here. So that was, I'd never seen one with a hard rubber versus being this a hard bait. So I was really impressed with this right here. This is truly a classic. It's been around for a really, really long time. But as always, I'm all about fishing, and I'm gonna fish these lures, and I'm gonna see what they do. Hey, it was built to last. Now the hook is still actually very sharp. I thought I was gonna have to sharpen the hook up. It's a little rusty here, so I might try to file it a little bit to kind of get a little bit of the rust off of it. But it's still got a really good sharp hook right here. So whoever built this, they made it to last. 20-plus-year-old probably lure right here. But I'm going to take it out and I'm going to go fishing with it. So once again, I just wanted to give a special shout out and thanks to my subscriber for Tim for doing that for me, for making that recommendation, and for anybody else that can recommend a lure as well. Matter of fact, show you one more here. I'm not going to do a review on it today, but a subscriber a while back saw me fish with an inline spinner, and they actually asked me, had I ever fished with a Panther Martin weedless? And I had never done it before. So I looked it up online and actually found a Panther Martin actual weedless inline spinner. And I'm going to give it a try. There's a lot of spots where I could possibly throw this, and I'll test it out and see. I'm totally in love with top water, but I'm always game to fish with other lures just to see if I can make it happen where I'm at. Down in Florida, it's a little tough sometimes to fish with crankbaits and deep divers. Even swim baits can be tough in some spots where I fish. So I've got to kind of stay top surface wake. But I will definitely try to fish with these other lures and see what happens. So what I wanted to do here in this video was give you a look at some pretty unique lures. Maybe some lures you've never seen before, some lures you've never heard of before. I gave you the prices. I gave you the locations of these lures, where I got them from. And it's really up to you whether or not you want to go check them out or not. Like I said before, I'm not sponsored by any of these groups or organizations. I just love top water, love to fish, and this is really what my hobby is and what my passion is. So that's why you'll see I'll buy them, and a lot of people will say, well, hey, those are a little pricey for me, and I can understand that. They're a little pricey for you. They are. One of the things that I'll tell you is that as I fished, I graduated up to these higher price points. It wasn't like when I first started fishing, I went out and bought a $50 lure or a $60 lure. I bought $4 and $5 lures. And then I saw when you spent a little bit more, the quality of that lure and what it was supposed to do got better. And so suddenly I realized that there were certain manufacturers and certain designs that just cost a little bit more money, but the quality was there. Now, I'm not saying you can't still catch fish on really cheap baits. I'm not saying that. But for me, it was about a quality thing and about having confidence that that lure can do it. So I began to spend a little bit more, and I've just spent more and more over time. And so I'm not really worried about the price as much as the effectiveness of the lure. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. So anyway, once again, I just want to thank everybody for watching this lure review. I haven't done one of these in a while where I just sat in the office and just talked to you guys about the lures. And so hopefully you're able to see some things you've never seen, learn some things you never thought about. And if you got any questions, please make sure to comment below on that, and be sure to subscribe to the channel. Once again, this is Topwater Johnny. I want to thank all of my subscribers, new subscribers, for being with me. And I want to say that phrase as always, keep your line tight. Because when they hit those topwater lures, especially any of the lures I mentioned today, it's going to be a big bite. All right.